What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Plika. I'm Jerome. Today we're talking about Disney slash Hulu's new show, Echo.
Nice.
Pursued by Fisk's criminal empire, Maya journeys home where she confronts her own family and legacy. We last saw her in Hawkeye, and let's be honest, it was very, very lukewarm in Hawkeye. No one really cared about her. We all wondered why the hell this show was going to happen. And for me, surprisingly, this show was really good. I had a fun time watching the show. You could definitely tell it was edited down. Some things were thrown out. It was made to be a limited kind of series thing, or at least like we're turning this into a Marvel Spotlight. This will be our new kind of idea. It felt like that, but I don't know. I saw past that. It was just refreshing. The violence. Daredevil was odd. It almost seemed unneeded Daredevil in there, but I loved it. I mean, it was Daredevil, so that was cool. But by the end, I was like, oh, I guess we didn't really need the Charlie Cox cameo, even though it was cool. We didn't need it. But just like getting a little bit more of Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin and getting more into that story, and now he has an adopted daughter that's like, he's the uncle, but it's kind of like his own daughter. That was really fun. Vincent D'Onofrio is amazing, and oh fuck, I gotta know Maya's name. I don't know off the top of my head, but the actress who plays Maya, outstanding in this. She was good-ish, and like she wasn't the problem in Hawkeye, but she's so good in this. Alaqua Cox, I hope I'm saying that right. Alaqua Cox, she did an outstanding job as Echo, and then also I loved her grandma and grandpa in the show. I loved her cousin Bonnie, who was just Kahori in What If, so that was a big surprise to me. I didn't even know she was in this show. I almost half expected it to connect to What If a little bit. Also, what a fucking surprise when they reuse the footage and like you're seeing Ronan fighting people and you're like, is Jeremy Renner gonna be in this fucking show? Oh my god, Jeremy Renner's in this fucking show, and it is reused footage, but I didn't expect to see Jeremy Renner tonight. What the fuck's going on? But yeah, I thought the cast was really fun. I honestly would have enjoyed this show week to week. I understand why they put it out all together, but I would have enjoyed it week to week, but I really don't think a lot of other people would. I think most people would have given up on this show. It really, to me, felt like a Hulu show, like Reservation Dogs, and just like, it had those vibes. It kind of also had some Ozark vibes in it as well from Netflix. Like, it almost felt like Daredevil, Ozark, and a little Fast and Furious, like all mixed in together, but with some Marvel shit. Echo currently has a 72% tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes and a 72% audience score. That's pretty good, honestly. Especially for recent Marvel, that's pretty good. But all right, let's get into the story a little bit. Right off the bat, you turn on the episode and you're like, whoa, I expected like Daredevil and shit, not like mystical back in the day, what's going on, caves collapsing. Like it's pretty strange, but it's really fun. It's like really beautiful to look at too. Looks better than a lot of things in the MCU has recently, but it's like, whoa, this is interesting. And then like as it goes through the show, you kind of realize it's called Echo because her ancestors are echoing through her. And that even goes into the end battle and shit like that. That was fun to me. That was a big surprise. They kind of hid that in the marketing a little bit. Like, I think almost every single episode flashes back to that at some point and does shit with it. The editing and the pacing of the first episode, I really did dig. Some people might not like it, but I kind of liked how they reused Hawkeye footage and some other Marvel footage with some new footage also as well. Basically, the first episode is like a previously on for Echo, which I guess previously on's a bad way to put it, but it was like an origin of her. Like it was kind of introducing us to her, and I thought they did a pretty good job of that. You could definitely see it was being rushed, but sometimes that didn't bother me. It was rushed in parts, but then the other parts that you got to sit with, I enjoyed so much that it being rushed didn't really. It didn't upset me that much whenever like it was a little rushed because I was like, whatever, you know. We'll get something good here in a second. I really enjoyed the little connection to Kingpin and his dad and Maya, and just like the full circle with the hammer, him even looking at the wall again, like so much tied into Daredevil. I didn't expect that much tied into Daredevil, so that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that, and it really surprised me how much they did with him. I did kind of dig his little thing in his eye that like kept healing his eye throughout the episode until she did some healing shit to him. She kind of healed his mind more than his eye, but she healed him a little bit at the end. She used fucking dental floss to stitch herself up? I mean, I guess use what you gotta use, but the hell? The train heist, that she didn't really heist anything, she more planted bombs, but that was really fucking fun. I loved that. Also, her cousin that stole the grandma's car and drove around the entire time, why was that basically Zach Galifianakis for the entire show? And why did I kind of like that by the end? That was weird. It just felt like, what the fuck, why is Zach Galifianakis in Marvel? What's going on here? And then I also thought it was a little weird in the third episode, they kidnapped Maya, and I know it was like circumstances where they had to throw her in a room and all that, but like they had at the ice rink or whatever, they threw her in a closet where she could have a workbench, and she built her own fucking gun and they were shooting people and shit. Like it was like Iron Man 3 a little bit. Why did they lock her in the room? I didn't understand that at all. Also, too, whenever people are locked up in a room like that, I don't know if it's just me, but I instantly think of the of the Drake and Josh movie where they're kidnapped and like you get to see them and they're trying to get out, or they got their hands tied behind their backs and they're trying to get out. I always just think of that. Anytime someone gets kidnapped, that's what's on my brain. But yeah, I don't know if I really have anything else to say about Echo. I'm sure I missed a lot. Overall, I had a really fun time. It flew by. I watched all 5 episodes in one night. It was very fun, very easy. And by the end, I was like, oh, fuck. I kind of wish I didn't. I kind of wish I let this one, like, I just got to, like, soothe into this one. But I don't know. I don't know if this is the last we'll see of Echo or where we're going to see her go. I'm sure she'll probably pop up in Daredevil and shit and whatever else we're going on here. Actually, one final thing. I do want to bring up the end credit scene with Kingpin. So, you think the show's over, you're like, oh, kind of ended Fast and Furious style, they're having a barbecue, or maybe this is She-Hulk. And then it cuts to, after the credits, Kingpin is in his plane, and he's watching the news, and he's hearing about the election, and it's basically these guys being like, hey, Kingpin, come on, run for office, Kingpin, you could do it, come on, Kingpin.
Exactly right. A bare-knuckled brawler would do well in this race, an outsider, somebody who is not afraid to take on the establishment.
That's not what they're saying, but that's pretty much what's going on in the scene, and it's to lead that Kingpin's gonna run for mayor.
Mayor! Now that's a good idea.
So all that's leading to Kingpin's gonna run for mayor, and that's gonna hopefully lead into Spider-Man and Daredevil and all that. And that's gonna be really exciting. If we can get some fun-ass Vincent D'Onofrio fighting Tom Holland, that'll be amazing. That's what I'll fucking live for with this shit. But yeah, I don't know what's next for Marvel Spotlight. I like that idea, though. I think it's pretty fun to just be like, here's 4 or 5 episodes on this character. You don't have to know anything else about the MCU, and you don't even have to watch this to understand what's going on later in the MCU. This is just a fun Marvel story right now. I think this is a good idea for them. I think this is probably what Disney Plus should be for Marvel. Overall, it was pretty fun. It could have been a lot better, obviously. I think maybe if they would have given it a little bit more time, a little bit more editing, maybe a reshoot or two, just to flesh a little more things out, obviously that would have helped. But I'm really happy with what we got. All right, well, this is where I pass it off to you guys. What did you guys think of Echo? Let me know down in the comments below. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time for another review.